Welcome to the Entombed Valley.
And on map number 2, our Fnatic player starts to the top left of the map. Starting in the red, it is
Fnatic Alive.
Yeah, he's got one game left, man. He's out of this tournament. He was up against this player. Nice play last game on a tough map for Zerg, tough positions. His ID is
Slayers, Mia.
Somebody's got to tell him he's going to have back problems if he keeps playing like that.
his adrenaline is actually pumping. You could actually see that.
Yeah, you really could. Distractor trick. Get an extra drone out. Stylistic choice.
Mia looks a little bit like nervous, like just that he just realized that he is only one map away from winning this.
Yeah. Alive is pulling an Alive, making a Makarax here at his natural. No second barracks proxy though. Just gonna try to trick Mia a little bit, scare him a little bit.
Mia didn't send out a drone scout, so right now he's completely relying on his build being a bit more of a passive one. He's not starting with a hatch first here, no. In this Terran versus Zerg, he is starting with a pool, and we'll see if he's going straight for another hatchery or if he is actually... No, I mean the one-base play is something that is 2010. It is not really all too viable, but let's see what exactly he's going to do with this early pool. If he's only trying to play safe, or if he actually has an idea, obviously, for what he could do with the 2-base timing attack here.
Yeah, I think Alive is gonna want to play for the late game in this case, on this map. After seeing what happened last game, I think something is gonna change in him because this happens to some players. Some really good Zerg players lose their cool in the late game. And I don't want to make anybody upset, but I think one prime example of this is actually Leenock, for example. Oftentimes in the late game, he loses his cool. We saw last game, Mia just totally didn't control any of his investors. He had banelings he wasn't using. He was not controlling his corruptors always against all the Vikings. You know, you just mentioned he sent 4 corruptors forward, and I think in the late game here, Alive is going to want to... He's going to want to face him here rather than try to face against someone who last game went for fast infestors, was playing very defensively through the mid game.
I'm wondering a little bit what we're currently seeing here, because Mia only scouted the ramp, he did not scout the natural, so he saw that there was no barracks. But what exactly is his thought process? Why did he not send those links over to the left side? Because there could have been everything. There could have been 11-11, there could have been some kind of other proxy play. There could have also been a command center first. He never scouted the natural, and I wonder why. There was no real reason.
Yeah. Now he knows, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the most worthless drone scout ever.
Yeah, he definitely should have done more with it. There was, I mean, basically he was like, all right, okay, so you're here, but I don't know what else is going on.
Yeah.
Look at this, Alive just very actively chasing Overlords. It's going to slow down the Overlord scout. Mia's not going to be able to get in there for a really long time now. And Alive just adding a second barracks right now, no gases, indicating he wants to take a fast third command center here.
And at this point, what we also have are the Zerglings, and Mia really seems to like a little bit more additional Zerglings in the early game, so that he can apply a bit of pressure, not only use them for scouting. And as you already said, the 3 barracks that we have for Alive already indicate that he wants to be a bit more aggressive than he used to.
Yeah, actually, I thought he was going to add a command center, but he's now taking double gases, so he's just basically doing what Bomber does oftentimes, the just 3 barracks marine pressure after expand. And so far, I mean, he's just poking at the watchtower.
Yeah, claiming the Zalnaga watchtower, now making sure that he has it. And here's the gas for Mia that we have in the main base. Only one harvester so far. He has speed started. Pulled out drones after that.
I thought maybe he was going to put 3 back in, but he's going to be he's not going to be going for the same type of fast infestor play like we saw last game. Still no third hatch though, so it looks like Mia just really does not like. Oh wow, 20 links on the way. He actually is making a lot of Zerglings now. Drone does go to the third base location. He knows the Marines are coming. He's not faked out by this at all. He's like, all right, this is actually just not going to be a small Marine pressure. Sees the first few Marines, and he's like, I just got to be safe here.
And he will be. I mean, these Marines are doomed. Speed is kicking in just in time. And this is great for Mia here. Alive will lose every single Marine.
Yeah.
He won't be able to save a single one of
There's
them.
no way. He's going to go up here. He tries to bunker, but this is not a situation he expected. You're so right, man. He's going to lose every single Marine. Decides to go for where the bunker is first, so the Marines at the back do get cleaned up by a small group of Lings, and what a great exchange for Mia. Completely shuts this down. Third base, not even touched for a second.
Yeah, that was really well done by Mia, and he seems to be ready here. I mean, he looks a little bit nervous, and from what we've heard from Sela, he certainly is, but on the other hand, I have to say that he plays better than I expected. I actually predicted here a 2-0 win for Alive. But Alive, even though looking strong at times in number 1, finds himself at a disadvantage in the best of 3. And Mia can certainly take this series, as at least it looks like.
Mia does not cut corners in the early to mid game. You know, we saw last game he went for the fast infestors that allowed him to slow down the pushes, spread his creep very carefully to the area where we normally see a siege tank push. This game, as soon as he saw the Marines, he didn't see all of them, but he was like, you know what? I'm actually just going to make all the Lings here, because if you're not attacking me, then well, yeah, that's a lot of larva spent, but I might be able to use my Lings for something else. And he just did not hesitate to make the Lings. And as a result, not only defended, but crushed Alive's push. Now is massively ahead. Still has Lings he can use to destroy these rocks.
The funny thing is, if Mia wouldn't have already started to build those Zerglings, the bunker would probably have been up. So the timing for him was just really perfect here. And his creep spread right now is looking good. He needs a lot more harvesters, but he's building the drones now. He's building his worker count. And now Alive with a very, very late starport, because he started with those double engineering base and with the double upgrades. He just didn't have the gas to really make it work. And now we have the starport for him a lot later than it could be, which also means that drop play is not part of the game just yet.
Yeah, very late drop entry here coming out for Alive. This was not scouted by Mia. He does not know the timing of the starport, but you can kind of assume with how late or with how quick he went with that barracks pressure that the starport will be slightly delayed. His infestation pit's finishing up around the same time, though. He's going to go get those infestors out. And I really like how Mia plays this matchup. He just does not really cut very many corners. And this can be a problem in some cases, but against a player like Alive who's known for aggression, this is really nice to see.
Mia is now once again scouting a little bit, has his Lings on the map. He takes his additional gases at the third in order to make sure that his tech is able to kick in. He wants, of course, the hive tech once more.
He really uses his Lings. You know, he made a lot of them, and he had a surplus, but he really uses them. Checking for the third base of Alive, always having the watchtower, always just running around trying to see what Alive's army looks like, killing the rocks, not only in between his natural and his third, but the rocks for the fourth base he may want to take in the center of the map. I really like to see this type of usage of the Lings, making sure that they're useful, because obviously after he holds the counterattack, he can't really attack with those Lings, but he's just doing everything he can with those.
Mia at this point also with Overlords in position to spot drop play. He's not really fanning them out too much, and we don't have the Viking on the map that we saw from Alive last time. But the Overlords are now getting into better positions. One is just being used at the top right, as you might be able to see on the minimap. So right now, Mia knows when there's some kind of drop play coming, which is really important. He knows about his opponent's push out because he has the creep everywhere. And the Banelings are already on the move. Plus 1-1 is done for Mia, or will be done in just a few seconds. Alive is a little bit ahead in upgrades, but not really significantly.
Yeah, he didn't capitalize on it, so in this case, actually, Mia's going to start +2 first.
Exactly.
And now Mia has the Banelings he needs to defend this. He lost a little bit of creep in the middle of the map. He may have to cancel this fourth base. It all depends on the Baneling hits and the Fungals. Alive is already pre-splitting his units a little bit. Doesn't actually want to engage here. He's probably going to have to pick up and go. Mia could have done more there, but decides to be patient. Both players there not overextending, not even a little bit.
The hive tech started for Mia, so he's going for +2/+2 earlier than Alive does. As Wolf pointed out, he did miss his timing a little bit, just because he did not start with the second set of upgrades after the first one was done. And now also the Spire on its way. So Mia once again has a lot of time to really build everything up. He's at 77 harvesters against 61 and is taking the fourth base. Alive is on 3. And he just can't make this drop play work if Mia pays attention to the minimap, because, as already pointed out, there are too many Overlords in position.
He immediately sees it, fungals it here, and he's going to drop the Marines out, and he actually is just not even going to trade lane as well. I guess he is, but I think he lost maybe one lane, if even that. Watchtower will be taken briefly here by Alive, but it's not going to be too significant. Actually, no, he will not. There's too many lings. Great control of the mid game once again here by Mia.
And another dropship to the right side of the map, and as pointed out earlier, there is an Overlord in position, so Mia will just be expecting it and welcome it in his own very special way.
Yes. Mia, he's gonna grab onto that like the one ring.
Well, Alive is a little bit like, okay, maybe not.
He's gonna stay out of that cave, man. You know, I have to say I'm a little bit stressed out about Alive not having the 4th command center even made yet, because this is not a map where, okay, there it is. It starts at red, as I said, because this is not a map where you can really end the game on 3 bases very easily, especially against the type of play that we're seeing from Mia right now, because he's kind of got all the infrastructure in place. Going for a huge counterattack with Lings right now. This is catching Alive a little bit off guard, but he raises his depots in time.
Nice fungal here.
Yeah, that was a sick fungal.
The funny thing is, by the way, that if Mia just would have used those Banelings to crush the depot wall at the 3rd, he could have walked in with those Lings no problem at all. But he can now sandwich his opponent's units.
Yeah, Alive basically has no way of getting home now. He's only got 2 medevacs with this, so the Marines are going to stay damaged.
Alive might be the main ingredients for Slayer's Burger. Here we go, and we have him in the middle of those 2 forces. And this is not going to end well for Alive, as you could just see. These tanks are gone, and the rest of his bio army is just trying to run as fast as possible.
Now the Greater Spire is done. He's bought the time he needed. He continued to mine from that 4th base. He's got a 5th base now up at that center location where he's destroyed one side of the rocks earlier on.
He has the bank to start with the Broodlords immediately. 2000, 2000, and here we go. Corruptors and Broodlords. Welcome to the show, guys.
And now he's going to have to kill his Overlord, but also scan, because there is a Zergling there, so that's really annoying. It's a 2-fold harassment. 4 Broodlords are going to be the first wave for Mia. He does need a few more Corruptors out to make more, but he's got the resources to do so. He makes 9 Corruptors, in fact. Alive already with the double starports, but because his 4th base is a little bit late here, he's going to have to be very careful with his units. He can't afford to trade costs inefficiently. And he's still struggling a little bit to deal with the creep against this many Infestors and Lings on the map. The style that Mia is playing is not really, I wouldn't say directly countering Alive's, but it's making it hard for him to use that. He is going for drops still, though, and the Broodlords are actually going to be how he cleans this up.
Mia has to be careful here at the main engagement. He needs to take care of the drop first, and then he can push out. But yeah, Alive is really struggling a lot here. He's now on 186 supply. Mia is about to be maxed out, and both players still with a chance to take this. But this army composition that Mia was aiming for is once again achieved. So Alive finds himself in a position where he has to deal with it. He built the additional starports to get the Vikings into the picture, but this is not going to be easy for him. The creep spread for Mia is still nearly untouched. It's crazy.
Oh, and he still has not landed his command center. The Ling is something he has not dealt with. He's trying to send small squads of units to deal with the creep terminals, and so far this has been relatively successful at keeping the creep from touching his toes, but he has not been able to push the creep beyond the watchtower, which makes it so difficult for Alive to move out, breathe, do anything. And now the Broodlords may start to rain upon him at the 4th base as they have moved across the map. Looks like he's going to go for the natural instead. He's still just carefully moving those Broodlords forward. Not a lot of Infestor support out here for Mia. In total, he's only got 4 Infestors on the map. They're all with his army, but that's not a lot of support.
The Broodlords are now starting to be in position. They kill the siege tanks and start to pick away at the Marines as well. The rest of the army is moving in, and where are the Infestors to lend support? They are
where
at
are the Vikings? Here. You know, he just threw his Corruptors to the front to fight Medivacs because he was like, well, I don't see any Vikings here. Now the Vikings are actually starting to pick away at the Broods. Needs to take those out, and a good fungal gets hit. And oh man, Alive down to 143 supply. Look at how fast Mia remaxes here. Alive actually loads SCVs in that command center, knowing he's probably going to have to get out of here with it pretty soon.
The micro game of Alive is once again spot on with the drop at the 4th base and the 5th. He's probably going to take down the 5th and killing a lot of harvest at the 4th, but the thing is, he is still so far down in supply. He's losing his 4th base here if he doesn't pay attention to it. And Mia is looking so strong. I have to apologize here. Mia is just completely killing Alive here today. I expected a 2-0 win for Alive, but right now it looks like Mia is going to take the series without dropping a single map.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of this comes down to the initial opening. Mia holding off that 3 barracks pressure. But, you know, we've said this a few times before. Alive sometimes has off days, and this is not the play that you would normally expect from him. Mia just outclassing him a little bit. And I love just how safe Mia plays. He doesn't cut any corners, and when there is a small thing he can capitalize on, He does. He's losing more and more, but Alive just cannot hold off the attack. GG, Mia with a 2-0 here. Not many people expecting this. Not